When I reflect on the early days of Alibaba, I'm often asked, how did you even imagine such a thing could work? To be honest, the vision I had was far beyond what others could comprehend at the time. Vision isn't about what exists today. It's about seeing the future before anyone else does. Starting Alibaba in a small apartment with no money or resources was a gamble, but I could see the potential of the internet. It wasn't just a tool, it was the great equalizer, a way to connect small businesses with global markets. Vision requires you to believe when others doubt. In those early days, many thought we were chasing an impossible dream. Yet I knew that great ideas often appear impractical at first. Vision is like a lighthouse in a storm, guiding you through uncertain waters. I used to tell my team, if not now, when? If not me, who? Those words weren't just motivation, they were a call to action. It's this belief in the unseen that fuels progress. To truly embrace vision, you must be willing to lead, even when you're the only one on the path. I failed so many times, failed exams, failed to get jobs, failed to convince people to invest in Alibaba. But those failures didn't define me. Instead, they strengthened my resolve. Vision isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about navigating through them toward a greater purpose. Another fascinating thing about vision is its ability to inspire others. When I first shared my ideas with my small team, they didn't immediately understand the scope of what I envisioned. But as I spoke with passion and conviction, they started to believe too. This is the power of vision, it's contagious. It turns skepticism into collaboration, and before you know it, people rally behind the dream. So I ask you, what is your vision? What future do you want to create that others can't yet see? Remember, the size of your dreams isn't determined by what is possible today. It's defined by your willingness to take the first step, even if the destination feels far away. Because what seems impossible now might just be inevitable tomorrow. Every obstacle is a disguised opportunity, though it doesn't always feel that way. When we started Alibaba, the challenges were overwhelming. The internet was practically non-existent in China, trust in e-commerce was low, and we had no money. It was easy to feel defeated. But I chose to see these hurdles differently. If you want to catch the rabbit, I would tell myself, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. This mindset was the foundation of how we approach problems, by adapting and innovating, not by avoiding difficulties. During the Asian financial crisis, I saw countless businesses crumble. Investors became cautious, and opportunities seemed scarce. Yet, I saw a unique opening. When everyone else was pulling back, I asked, what can we do now that others won't dare to attempt? That's the mindset you need, to see where others see failure, to dig deeper when others stop. It's not the absence of problems, but the ability to transform them that defines success. Challenges are like teachers, difficult, demanding, but profoundly rewarding. Early in Alibaba's journey, we faced logistical and technical failures. Customers were unhappy, competitors doubted us, and critics were loud. Instead of hiding from these challenges, we embraced them as opportunities to learn. Each problem pushed us to improve, refine, and grow stronger. Challenges, if tackled with determination, shape you into someone capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. It's important to remember that adversity is a great equalizer. When faced with difficulties, everyone starts at the same level, regardless of their background. I've often said, when you're poor, if you have a dream, you never feel poor. Dreams and the willingness to overcome obstacles are the most valuable assets anyone can have. They remind us that no matter where we start, resilience can take us farther than we ever imagined. Now think about your own challenges. What if, instead of obstacles, you saw them as opportunities waiting to be unlocked? That shift in mindset can be transformative. With the right attitude, every setback can become the stepping stone to a breakthrough. After all, the greatest successes often emerge from the toughest battles. The most valuable lesson I've learned is that education doesn't end in the classroom. It's a lifelong process. Before founding Alibaba, I was an English teacher with no background in technology or business. What I lacked in knowledge, I made up for with an insatiable curiosity. I wasn't afraid to ask questions, seek help, and admit what I didn't know. In the ever-changing world we live in, learning is the only constant. When we first started Alibaba, I barely understood how the internet worked. Yet I surrounded myself with people smarter than me and listened carefully. I wasn't trying to be the smartest person in the room. I was trying to learn from them. It's a strategy that applies to anyone aiming for success. No matter how skilled you are, there's always something new to discover. I believe that true education happens in everyday life. Books, conversations, failures, and even silence are all sources of knowledge. Once, during a trip to Silicon Valley, someone told me, "The best leaders are those who never stop being students." That advice stuck with me. To grow, you must remain open to new ideas, even if they challenge your current beliefs. What surprises me is how many people underestimate informal education. Some of the most important lessons I've learned came from observing mistakes, my own and others. During Alibaba's early days, every misstep taught us what not to do, which was just as valuable as learning what worked. Each failure became a stepping stone toward better strategies. Ask yourself this: what are you doing today to prepare for tomorrow? The pursuit of knowledge isn't just about personal growth. It's about staying relevant in a world that never stops evolving. By committing to continuous learning, you're not just keeping up, you're staying ahead. Dreaming big doesn't mean starting big, it means starting smart. When Alibaba began, we were just 18 people working from my apartment. It wasn't glamorous, and we had no grand office or resources, but we had ambition and clarity of purpose. Starting small allowed us to focus, refine our ideas, and build a solid foundation. It's like planting a seed. It starts small, but with care and persistence, it grows into something extraordinary. The beauty of starting small is that it keeps you grounded. You learn to work with what you have and appreciate the process of growth. Early on, I used to tell my team, the size of your beginning does not determine the size of your future. This is a truth many overlook. It's not about how you start. It's about having the courage to start at all. Big dreams often intimidate people, but breaking them into smaller, actionable steps makes them achievable. For example, our vision for Alibaba was global, but we started with small local businesses. Each success built momentum, and with every milestone, our dream grew larger. Success is cumulative. It's the result of consistent, small actions over time. Starting small also gives you the opportunity to adapt and innovate. The smaller the scale, the easier it is to pivot and experiment. For us, every mistake in the early days taught us something invaluable. These lessons became the backbone of Alibaba's success. It's proof that even the humblest beginnings can lead to monumental achievements. So, if you have a big dream, don't let its size discourage you. Start where you are with what you have. Each small step you take will bring you closer to that big goal. And remember, every giant tree was once a tiny seed. Your small beginning could be the start of something truly remarkable. Leadership isn't about power or authority. It's about inspiring others to believe in something greater than themselves. In the early days of Alibaba, I didn't have much to offer my team besides a vision and the belief that we could achieve it together. I used to tell them, if you believe in this dream, we can transform it into reality. Leadership, at its core, is about building trust and fostering a sense of shared purpose. It's not about ruling with fear, but connecting with people through heart and authenticity. Leading with heart means prioritizing people over profits. One of the principles I've always upheld is customers first, employees second, shareholders third. This philosophy wasn't popular with investors, but I didn't care. I believed that taking care of people, both customers and employees, would naturally lead to long-term success. Leadership isn't about immediate gains. It's about creating lasting impact by nurturing those around you. True leadership also involves vulnerability. I wasn't afraid to admit when I didn't know something or when I needed help. This honesty created an environment where others felt safe to share ideas and take risks. As a leader, you set the tone for your team. If you lead with fear, people will hold back. If you lead with heart, they'll give their all. Leadership isn't a title. It's the ability to inspire action through trust and compassion. One of my favorite memories as a leader was watching my team grow, not just professionally, but personally. I've seen people who doubted their abilities achieve incredible things because someone believed in them. That's the power of leading with heart. It's not about control, it's about empowerment. When your team feels valued, they'll go above and beyond, not because they have to, but because they want to. So how do you want to lead? The legacy you leave as a leader isn't measured in numbers, but in the lives you've touched and the trust you've built. When you lead with heart, you create something far greater than a successful business. You create a lasting impact. Failure is a word that scares many, but for me, it has always been a teacher in disguise. I've failed so many times that I've lost count. I failed my university entrance exams twice. I was rejected from 30 job applications, including KFC, where I was the only one not hired among 24 candidates. Even Harvard rejected me 10 times. Each of these failures hurt, but they didn't stop me. Instead, they taught me resilience and adaptability. At Alibaba, failure wasn't just something we experienced. It was something we embraced. Early on, we struggled to secure investors. Most people thought our idea of connecting small businesses globally through the internet was ridiculous, but each rejection gave us a chance to refine our vision and improve our pitch. As I like to say, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. Each failure was an opportunity to grow. Failures often hold the greatest lessons because they force you to confront your weaknesses. They teach you what works, and more importantly, what doesn't. When something didn't go as planned at Alibaba, we didn't dwell on the mistake. We analyzed it. What went wrong? How could we improve? This process of learning and adapting turned our setbacks into stepping stones. What I've learned is that failure is never final unless you give up. It's a part of the journey, not the destination. The path to success is rarely straight. It's filled with detours and roadblocks. Embracing failure as a natural part of growth allows you to move forward with confidence. After all, the only true failure is the refusal to try again. Think about your own failures. Are you letting them hold you back? Or are you using them to propel yourself forward? Remember, every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is that they didn't stop trying. Failures don't define you. How you respond to them does. When people hear the word innovation, they often think of high-tech gadgets or groundbreaking scientific discoveries. But for me, innovation is much simpler and much more powerful. It's about looking at the same problems everyone else sees, but finding a different solution. At Alibaba, we didn't just create a website. We created a platform that connected people and businesses in ways they hadn't imagined. Innovation isn't just about technology, it's a mindset. One of the most innovative ideas we ever had was turning China's Singles Day into the world's largest shopping event. At first, people laughed at the idea. Who would want to shop on a day celebrating being single, they asked. But we saw an opportunity to create something new, a festival of consumption that would benefit customers and businesses alike. Today, Singles Day generates billions of dollars in sales, proving that innovation is about thinking differently, not necessarily inventing something new. The key to innovation is curiosity. You have to ask questions like, why is this done this way? Or, how can this be improved? Many of Alibaba's breakthroughs came from challenging the status quo and exploring unconventional ideas. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most curious and open-minded. Innovation also thrives on failure. For every successful idea, there were dozens that didn't work. And that's okay. Every failure taught us something new and brought us closer to the solutions that did work. It's like sculpting. You chip away at the stone until you reveal the masterpiece hidden inside. So, how do you approach problems in your life or business? Are you looking at them with fresh eyes, or are you stuck in old patterns? Remember, the future doesn't belong to those who follow trends. It belongs to those who create them. Innovation isn't a skill, it's a way of thinking. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This proverb perfectly encapsulates my philosophy on teamwork. From the very beginning of Alibaba, I knew we couldn't achieve success alone. We were a small group of 18 people with no resources and little experience. But what we had was trust and a shared vision. Building a strong team was not just a choice, it was a necessity. A great team complements each other's strengths and compensates for weaknesses. I wasn't the smartest person in the room, and I didn't need to be. My role was to bring together people who were smarter than me in different areas and unite them under a common purpose. This diversity of skills and perspectives became one of our greatest assets. A business is like a ship. It doesn't move forward unless every oar is pulling in the same direction. Teamwork also requires a culture of trust and mutual respect. At Alibaba, we focused on creating an environment where people felt safe to express their ideas and take risks. I used to tell my team, when you fail, don't worry, I'll take responsibility. But when you succeed, the credit belongs to you. This mindset empowered people to give their best without fear of failure, knowing they were valued and supported. One thing I've learned is that the strength of a team lies not in the number of people, but in their unity. Even with limited resources, a team that believes in the same vision can achieve extraordinary things. I've seen this firsthand countless times. It's not about having the most talent, it's about having the most dedication and alignment. So who are the people around you? Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Building a great team takes time and effort, but it's one of the most rewarding investments you'll ever make. After all, no one changes the world alone. Success is a collective journey, and your team is the force that makes it possible. Resilience is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Let me be honest, building Alibaba wasn't smooth sailing. There were days when nothing seemed to work. Rejections from investors, technical failures, and market skepticism were constant hurdles. But I learned that the secret to success lies in persistence. I often told my team, the best view comes after the hardest climb. Those who endure will always have the last word. The world is full of imperfections, and challenges will come your way no matter how prepared you are. During the SARS outbreak in 2003, we faced one of our toughest tests. Offices were closed, and people were scared to leave their homes. But instead of shutting down, we saw an opportunity. We encouraged our team to work remotely, which wasn't common at the time. This crisis became a turning point for Alibaba's e-commerce growth. Challenges are inevitable. How you respond to them is what matters. Resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about learning from it. Every setback teaches you something valuable. At Alibaba, we turned our failures into lessons and used them to improve. I used to joke that we wrote the book on how not to do business before we figured out how to succeed. But those mistakes made us stronger and more prepared for future challenges. One of the biggest misconceptions about resilience is that it's something you're born with. It's not. It's a skill you develop through practice. It's built every time you decide to keep going despite the odds. Like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And it's this inner strength that will carry you through the toughest moments. So what will you do when the world feels like it's against you? Will you let it defeat you, or will you rise above it? Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving in the face of adversity. The world isn't perfect, but your determination can make all the difference. From day one at Alibaba, we made a simple decision. The customer comes first. This principle guided every decision we made. While many companies focus on pleasing investors or maximizing profits, we took a different approach. If you take care of your customers, I would tell my team, they will take care of your business. This philosophy became the cornerstone of Alibaba's success. Putting customers first means understanding their needs better than they do. Early in Alibaba's journey, we noticed that small businesses were struggling to reach global markets. Big companies had the resources to expand, but smaller ones were left behind. We didn't just sell them a service, we solved their problems. That's the difference between a business that survives and one that thrives. Listening to customers is an art. It requires empathy, patience, and the willingness to adapt. I remember a time when we received complaints about the complexity of our platform. Instead of defending our system, we simplified it. Customers don't care about how hard you worked on a feature. They care about how well it solves their problem. This mindset helped us earn their trust and loyalty. Focusing on customers also means thinking long-term. Short-term profits might look appealing, but they can never replace the value of a satisfied customer. At Alibaba, we invested in building relationships, not just transactions. We knew that happy customers would not only return, but also bring others with them. This ripple effect is what creates sustainable growth. Now think about your own business or career. Are you prioritizing the people you serve? Success isn't about being the best in the market. It's about being the best for your customers. When you put them first, everything else falls into place. Standing out isn't easy. It requires courage, conviction, and the willingness to face criticism. When I first started talking about Alibaba's mission to connect small businesses globally, many people laughed. "Who needs this?" they asked. But I wasn't deterred. I believe that success comes from daring to be different. It's about breaking the rules, not for the sake of rebellion, but to create something new and meaningful. Being different often means being misunderstood. Early on, I was told that I didn't look or act like a CEO. Some even suggested stepping down because I wasn't qualified. But I knew that leadership isn't about appearances or credentials. It's about vision and execution. My ability to embrace my uniqueness rather than conform became one of my greatest strengths. Innovation and progress come from challenging the status quo. At Alibaba, we didn't follow traditional business models, we redefined them. For example, we prioritized empowering small businesses over maximizing profits, a decision that baffled many investors at the time. But by staying true to our values, we built something that not only succeeded, but also made a difference. It takes courage to go against the grain, especially when the stakes are high. I've always believed that criticism is a sign you're on the right track. After all, the greatest ideas often face the strongest resistance. When people doubt you, it's not a reflection of your idea's value. It's a reflection of their inability to see your vision. So are you brave enough to be different? The world doesn't need more of the same. It needs pioneers, innovators, and dreamers who aren't afraid to chart their own course. Embracing your uniqueness isn't just about standing out. It's about making an impact. We live in the most connected era in history. Technology has made the world smaller, but in doing so, it has opened up opportunities that are larger than ever. When we started Alibaba, I saw this potential. The internet wasn't just a tool, it was a bridge that could connect people, businesses, and ideas across borders. This global perspective became the foundation of everything we did. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that success is limited to their local environment. I always encourage my team to think globally, even when we were just a small group in an apartment. Why focus on one city, I would say, when the whole world is your market? This mindset helped us see possibilities others overlooked. Opportunities often come from unexpected places. For instance, during my travels to Africa, I was amazed by the energy and innovation of young entrepreneurs. Many people saw challenges in the region, lack of infrastructure, limited resources, but I saw potential. The same was true in China during Alibaba's early days. Where others saw barriers, we saw a chance to create something new. The internet has truly leveled the playing field. Today, anyone with a laptop and a connection can reach a global audience. This was unimaginable a few decades ago. It's a reminder that opportunities are no longer confined to big cities or developed countries. They're everywhere, waiting for those with the vision to seize them. Are you thinking big enough? The world is smaller than you think, and its opportunities are larger than you can imagine. With the right mindset and tools, there's no limit to what you can achieve. At the end of the day, business isn't about numbers, it's about people. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned is that strong relationships are the foundation of lasting success. When we built Alibaba, we didn't just focus on transactions, we focused on trust. Whether it was with customers, employees, or partners, our goal was always to build meaningful connections. Great relationships require authenticity. People can tell when you're genuinely invested in them versus when you're just seeking personal gain. I often told my team, treat people like family and they'll stand by you through anything. This approach not only strengthened our internal culture, but also created loyalty among our customers and partners. Business relationships, like personal ones, thrive on mutual respect and shared values. At Alibaba, we prioritized working with people who believed in our mission. This alignment made collaboration easier and more impactful. It's a reminder that who you work with is just as important as what you work on. Another key to building relationships is consistency. Trust isn't built overnight. It's earned through repeated actions over time. Every promise you keep, every moment you listen, and every time you put someone else's needs ahead of your own strengthens the bond. This principle applies to both professional and personal life. So, how much are you investing in your relationships? Success isn't just about climbing higher, it's about lifting others along the way. The relationships you build today will determine the legacy you leave tomorrow. No one believed in me when I started, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that I believed in myself. Confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about having faith in your ability to learn, adapt, and succeed. When I failed repeatedly, whether it was in exams, job interviews, or business pitches, I didn't let those rejections define me. Instead, I saw them as stepping stones. Believing in yourself is contagious. When you project confidence, others start to believe in you too. I remember the first time I pitched Alibaba's idea to potential employees. They weren't convinced by my resources or track record because I had neither. What convinced them was my passion and unwavering belief that we could create something extraordinary. Self-belief is especially crucial when you're facing criticism or doubt. There were countless times when people told me Alibaba wouldn't work. But if I had waited for their approval, we wouldn't be where we are today. Your belief in yourself has to be stronger than anyone's disbelief. Confidence also comes from preparation and persistence. Every failure taught me something new, and with each lesson, I grew more confident in my abilities. It's not about knowing everything, it's about trusting that you can figure it out along the way. So, do you believe in yourself enough to keep going when others doubt you? The first step to achieving greatness is believing you can. The world will follow your lead, but only if you take the first step. Complaining never changes anything. Early on, I realized that if I wanted to see a better world, I had to take action. Entrepreneurship isn't just about making money, it's about solving problems and creating impact. When I started Alibaba, I saw a gap. Small businesses struggling to reach global markets, and decided to fill it. Change doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. Being the change means taking responsibility. Instead of blaming circumstances, ask yourself, what can I do to make this better? This mindset has guided me through every challenge. Whether it was navigating China's lack of internet infrastructure or convincing people to trust e-commerce, we didn't wait for solutions, we created them. Change also requires resilience. The world doesn't adapt overnight, and progress is often met with resistance. I've always believed that even small actions can lead to big results over time. It's like planting a tree. You may not see the shade today, but future generations will benefit from your efforts. Leading change inspires others to join you. When people see you taking initiative, it encourages them to do the same. At Alibaba, our mission wasn't just about building a company. It was about empowering others to succeed. This ripple effect is what makes meaningful change possible. So what change do you want to see in the world? Remember, it starts with you. The problems you see today are opportunities to create a better tomorrow. Will you take the first step?
Jack Ma, the iconic founder of Alibaba, recently delivered an extraordinary speech that captivated every person in the room. With a unique combination of charisma, wisdom, and humor, he shared his personal journey and unveiled 12 powerful keys that shaped his transformation from an ordinary teacher to one of the most influential entrepreneurs of our time. This was not just a recount of past successes. It was a roadmap for anyone looking to achieve personal growth and life transformation in an unpredictable world. Jack Ma began with an inspiring exploration of the power of vision. He recounted how the birth of Alibaba was not fueled by resources or technology, but by the ability to see possibilities that others could not. He emphasized that vision is what allows individuals to pave new paths, even when the world doubts them. Jack Ma shared how, in the face of widespread skepticism, he anchored himself in the belief that the future belongs to those who dare to dream. Turning challenges into opportunities was another cornerstone of Jack Ma's speech. He delved into the toughest moments of his journey, from rejections by investors to market distrust, and revealed how each obstacle became a stepping stone to innovation. Jack Ma's famous words echoed, "If not now, when? If not me, who?" These challenges, he said, are the universe's way of testing our resilience and creativity. The importance of lifelong learning was another transformative insight. Jack Ma shared how his curiosity and willingness to learn continuously, even in areas where he had no expertise, set the foundation for Alibaba's success. He explained that education doesn't end in the classroom, but continues in every conversation, mistake, and experience. This relentless pursuit of knowledge, paired with self-discipline and mental resilience, is what separates dreamers from achievers. Jack Ma didn't stop at the grand ideas. He also focused on the value of starting small. With a relatable humility, he described the modest beginnings of Alibaba, 18 people working in a tiny apartment with little to no resources. "Dream big," he said, "but always start small." He explained that it's through consistent, deliberate action on a small scale that monumental success becomes possible. Every small victory builds the foundation for the next leap forward. Failure was not ignored, but embraced in his message. Jack Ma humorously recounted his personal struggles, from being rejected at 30 different job interviews to failing university entrance exams multiple times. Yet, it was these very experiences that taught him resilience. Jack Ma shared how every failure became a lesson that fortified his determination. The greatest lessons, he said, come from the hardest falls. They're your best teachers if you let them be. The world's imperfections were another theme that Jack Ma tackled with refreshing honesty. He reminded the audience that challenges are inevitable and that resilience is the bridge between failure and success. Jack Ma explained how even in moments of uncertainty, like the SARS outbreak that disrupted business operations, his team found ways to adapt and thrive. Resilience, he said, is the skill that keeps you moving forward when giving up feels easier. Jack Ma also reflected on the critical role of time management. He urged the audience to treat time as their most valuable resource, one that cannot be regained once lost. Are you spending your time on what truly matters? He asked. For Jack Ma, the secret to success lies in prioritizing tasks that align with long-term goals while delegating or eliminating distractions. As he spoke about leadership, Jack Ma shared how his approach was rooted in the power of teamwork and connection. He described how Alibaba's growth was not the result of individual brilliance, but collective effort. If you want to go far, go together, he stated, highlighting how building trust and unity within a team is essential for achieving great things. One of the most striking aspects of Jack Ma's speech was his focus on belief. He reminded the audience that no one will believe in you if you don't first believe in yourself. Drawing from his own life, Jack Ma explained how self-belief was the fuel that kept him going when the odds were stacked against him. Confidence, he said, is not about knowing everything, but about trusting your ability to learn and adapt. Jack Ma ended his speech by urging everyone to see themselves as agents of change. Complaining about the world's problems won't fix them, he said. Instead, it's the action you take that makes the difference. Jack Ma challenged the audience to embrace entrepreneurship not just as a career, but as a way to solve problems and create value. Be the change you want to see, he encouraged, leaving no room for excuses. This speech was more than a lesson in entrepreneurship. It was a masterclass in navigating life's complexities with courage, vision, and determination. Jack Ma didn't just inspire the audience, he empowered them to take action. His words were a reminder that the path to success is open to anyone willing to take the first step, embrace challenges, and believe in the power of transformation. Now that you've heard Jack Ma's profound insights, it's time to reflect and take action. What will you do with the lessons he shared about vision, resilience, and the power of starting small? How will you transform your challenges into opportunities? And how can you make learning a lifelong habit? These are not just concepts. They're actionable steps to guide you toward the life you've always envisioned. Take a moment to think about what resonated with you the most. Was it the idea of believing in yourself before anyone else does? Or perhaps the reminder that failure is just a teacher in disguise? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective could inspire someone else to take their first step toward success. If you ever find yourself in need of motivation, revisit this speech and remind yourself of Jack Ma's incredible journey. Let his wisdom fuel your determination. And don't stop here. Make a commitment to keep learning, growing, and applying these lessons every day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay inspired by more life-changing content like this. Be sure to watch the next video, 15 Steps to Reinvent Your Life and Reach Your Full Potential, Jack Ma's advice, for even more insights into personal development and success. Together, let's create the future we all dream of.